And they freeze it for a face-off with 5:29 to go, and the Blues starting to apply some pressure now. Johnson against Patey. St. Louis Blues, an explosive team. They had 10 players score over 20 goals. 5 scored over 30, which was one short of the NHL record of 6 players scoring over 30 in a season. Sent out to center. Brown Scheidel back pass to Kia. Kia sends it up the near side, broken up by Carlisle. Back the other way, it's Ed Kia, number 17. Cross to Jack Brown Scheidel, up the middle, Larry Patey, number 6. Patey sends it in the Pittsburgh zone. Ross Lonsberry back for it there, checked by Blair Chapman, ties him up. Lonsberry sends it around for Stackhouse. This pass comes out of the zone. Patey back for it. 4:55 to go, first period, 1-1 the score. Kia, cross ice, picked up on the fly, knocked away by Rick Keogh. Blues send it back in. It's kicked out. Loose puck in center. Played back in by Blair Chapman and stopped by Greg Millen, who's made some great saves here in the first period. Puck out of the zone. Fedorko sends it back to Maxwell. Now Jerry Hart, number 2. Blocked by Carlisle. His pass broken up by Tony Curry, number 15. Fanned on a pass. Loose puck picked up by Maxwell. Maxwell carries across with a drive. Save Millen. He holds it, drops it behind the net. Battle there in the corner. It's poked free by Sutter. Carlisle battling. It's in behind the net. Fedorko. Fedorko's centering pass out of the net. Kicked away. Penalty upcoming. Looks to be on the Pittsburgh Penguins once again as the Blues continue to apply the pressure.
They're taking it over from the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins have stopped skating. It's that clear. The puck is not being put in the deep in the St. Louis Blues zone. Most
$1,000 and a shot against a ranked contender. Thursday night, top-ranked boxing from Totowa, New Jersey.
Important face-off deep inside of the Pittsburgh Penguins zone. Greg Shepard against Bernie Fedorko of the Blues.
Malone. Greg Malone off for cross-checking. At 15:49, Blues with another power play opportunity. They scored a power play goal earlier. That puck cleared all the way down by Greg Shepard. 3:55 to go, first period, 1-1 the score. Blues with a puck and they come up. Bernie Fedorko, number 24, leading scorer on the Blues with over 100 points. Penalty upcoming. Baxter is going to go, I believe. And they send 2 men now fighting. Sutter, Dick Baxter.
There was a penalty originally called on the, I believe, on the St. Louis Blues, and Sutter didn't even take his glove off and gave Baxter a left hand right in the face. Baxter went down. And there is Paul Baxter, who took a shot from Brian Sutter.
Starting to get a little out of hand again. Baxter, he's a tough guy, and he was really shaken up. There is Sutter. He apparently has taken it on himself to get these Blues aroused.
Well, there's Baxter getting up, took a pretty good left jab. Here we'll see how this thing all started. Here's Baxter taking Sutter into the boards. Now, there's going to be a penalty called here on whom I don't know. It could be Sutter right there as he gave him the stick. And there's Myers coming in. Now you'll see the two separate, and Sutter will throw a left hand at Baxter. Here, we'll see them separating. Here's Sutter. Boom. Left hand right on the nose of Baxter. Baxter goes down. And referee Bob Myers is now at the penalty bench. You see Baxter on your right there. He seems okay. He's in there along with Greg Malone, who still has 1:35 to go on his cross-checking penalty.
Originally, Myers sent them both off for minor penalties, and then we'll see what he gives Sutter.
Well, Sam, the way I see it, I can't
Baxter.
see Baxter getting any more than 2 minutes. If he got something for riding Sutter into the boards, fine, but Sutter has to get an extra something for that left hand he threw.
I think he may have called him for a high sticking originally, the original penalty.
And there you see the captain of the Blues and the Blues goal scorer, Brian Sutter. We have a 1-1 score here with 3:46 to go in this opening period. Rod Schutt scoring for the Penguins, and Brian Sutter getting his first goal of the playoffs, getting the goal for the Blues.
Sutter got 2 minutes for slashing, and another 2 minutes, 4 minutes for Sutter, and 2 minutes for Baxter.
Well, I guess Sutter got 2 for that left jab.
2 for slash, 2 for rough.
Must be nice, eh? Just walk over and punch a guy in the head, and you get 2 minutes. I mean, what a wonderful way to release your frustrations. Get on the ice, punch somebody in the head, and go sit down for 2 minutes.
There it is.
I really feel that the Blues got off a little light on that one. That left hand. We had an incident the other night in the Los Angeles Kings and New York Ranger game where Barry Beck reached over and gave Rick Chartrand a pretty good left hand. He drew blood, and he got 5 minutes for that, but that was a pretty good left hand. Here we'll see how it all started. Baxter riding Sutter into the boards. Baxter initially called probably for boarding, and then Sutter coming in with that cross check. So there was 4 minutes right there. Each player had 2 minutes each. Now you'll see where Sutter gets the extra 2. Right there, the left hand, bingo. Right in the noggin of Baxter. Baxter goes down, and you see referee Bob Myers at the penalty box.
Baxter goes off 2 minutes for elbowing. Sutter gets 2 minutes for slashing and 2 minutes for roughing. Malone is off, 1:35 to go on his penalty. And don't forget, tomorrow night, Sunday night, live at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll be right back here at the Pittsburgh Civic Arena for Game 4. We will continue. Baxter off. When Baxter returns, the Pittsburgh Penguins will have the man advantage.
Defensive forward for the Penguins.
Shepard against Fedorko. Loose puck. Hook to the blue line, out of the zone. Micheletti is there. Micheletti and Zook on ice. Left wing feed to Curry going in. Drop pass to Micheletti. Feed Zook. Zook goes in and shoots. Shanks the shot. Millen covers up. They got like an infielder diving for a ground ball. Nice play by Greg Millen.
Out of his crease to cover up.
Micheletti pokes it to Zook along the board. Zook is checked there. Poke free. Carlisle clears all the way down. 1:05 to go in the penalty. The original penalty to Greg Malone. Blues come back. Across the line comes Zook. Drops it for Curry and loses to Shepard. Shepard in the corner, checked by Curry. Loose puck. Carlisle battling along the boards. It comes to Shepard. Could not clear. Kept in nicely at the point by Micheletti. Sends it ahead for Zook. He's checked by Carlisle. Shepard comes in. Shepard looks to clear and does. 35 seconds to go on the penalty to Greg Malone. 55 seconds now left in the penalty to Baxter, and 2:55 in the penalty to Sutter, Brian Sutter. He got 4 minutes. 2 minors across the line. This is Micheletti along the boards. Micheletti. Back pass. Zook to Micheletti. Pass ahead in the slot. The shot is blocked. Picked up by Fedorko. Back pass to Micheletti along the blue line. Feeds Zook. Cross ice. Fedorko back to Micheletti. He drives one. It's kicked wide. Up the near side to Zook. Zook sends it into the corner for Fedorko. Malone is back on. Teams are 4 aside. Centering pass comes through and out to the blue line. Zook keeps it in. Team skating 4 aside. Micheletti high in the slot. Shoot. Save Millen. Good stick save. Rebound in the corner. Loose puck. Fedorko had it poked away and it's cleared. 1:50 to go in this first period. Pass is stolen by Malone. Drops it for Lee. Lee, the shot blocked by Kia. Lee puts it side of the net. Liu puts it back in the corner. Kia sends it up the boards and out of the zone. Penguins now have the man advantage, skating 5-on-4. Price feeds Shutt. Shutt sends it in. It's by Liu. Malone has it for Pittsburgh. Malone checked by Pedersen. Back pass Faubert. In front, blocked by Kia, taken away, and here come the Blues. Patey, who had 8 shorthanded goals during the season, feed to Pedersen. Pedersen pokes it ahead, taken by Malone with 1:10 to go in the period. Malone comes up. Malone to Shutt, offside, Pittsburgh. 1:07 to go first period, 1:21 to go. And the penalty to Brian Sutter, and 1-1 is the score.
Well, we got this, our producer, happy anniversary to Scotty and Till Connell on the 30th.
30th. We're forgetting some names. We'll get to them. We'll run down the list of well-wishers.
Everybody and their all their friends in the National Hockey League, I know,
absolutely,
would like to convey their congratulations and their best wishes.
Crombeen goes in with a shot and a save. Millen, rebound is loose and it's in behind the goal. Picked up by Gardner. 40 seconds to go in the period. Penguins with a man advantage. Carlisle out to Rick Keogh in center. 2-on-2. Crosses. Keogh pulls up, sends it in deep for Gardner. Gardner tried to get it in front, blocked by Keogh. What a defensive game Ed Keogh is playing. All the way down it comes. 20 seconds to go in this first period. 1-1 the score. Carlisle to Keogh. Keogh sends it out to center, blocked by Jerry Hart. Hart in control, throws it into the Pittsburgh end. 10 seconds to go in the period. Penguins with a man advantage. Gardner has the puck. 5 seconds to go in the period. Keogh carries. Hooks it ahead. It's broken up by Patey. That'll do it for the first period. Here at the Pittsburgh Civic Arena, 14 seconds remain. The penalty to Brian Sutter, which will carry over into the second period. But at the end of one, things finally settling down, and we're tied 1-1.
Well, the Penguins coming out and controlling. I thought the first 6 or 7 minutes of this opening period, the Blues suddenly found their legs.
1-1 the score. Game 3 preliminary round. We'll be here for Game 4 tomorrow night, Sunday night, live at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Loose in center. Patey sends it ahead. Millen comes out. That'll do it for the penalty. Loose puck, and it's picked up by Carlisle. Brian Sutter returns to the ice. Teams are 5 aside. Picked up by Faubert. Lost it. Carlisle carries. Carlisle, nice stick handling. Shoot, save made by Liut. Rebound, Patey clears it all the way down. And it comes on goal. That takes away the icing that would have been called. Greg Malone sends it up the near side, taken by Fedorko. Faubert's pass out comes to center, picked up by Malone. Kia, who's played a fine defensive game, throws it ahead. Out comes Millen and sticks it aside. Out to center, Peter Lee picks up the puck. Poked back the other way. Delayed offside on the Blues. 19:04 to go in the second period. 1-1 is the score. Brian Sutter, maybe we'll see some ice time for a change.
Well, he trying to get his team going. The Blues came out flat in that first period. The Penguins dumped the puck deep inside the St. Louis Blues zone, and they really ganked them. They played a physical first 6 or 7 minutes of that first period, Sam. Sutter got into a fight with George Ferguson, and he got into a little mix-up with Paul Baxter, and I think it got his club going a little bit. It's a strange way to get your team going, but it seemed to hype up his team a little bit, and they controlled the play after that first 10 minutes of that first period.
That's George Ferguson carrying the puck for Pittsburgh. Nice stick handling. Ferguson bumped by Micheletti at the line. Price picks it up for Pittsburgh. Price feeds to Bullard. The rookie fires it in. Mike Bullard had a good game in game number 2. Picked up a couple of assists. And Babbage was sandwiched by Mark Johnson and Pat Price and went down hard. But he's okay and picks up the puck. Broke his stick. Loose puck in the Pittsburgh end. Price picks it up. Sends ahead. Broken up by Micheletti. Loose puck in center. Picked up by Lapointe. Lapointe's beat a little too far for Babbage going in. Millen is there. Winds it into the corner. Mark Johnson has it. Johnson loses. And Pettersson has the puck. Pettersson circles in center. Penguins playing without Errol Thompson, who's suffering a back problem. Rookie Mike Bullard is in the lineup. Number 22 for Pittsburgh. Puck comes behind the net. Caroms up the near side. Penguins try to clear out and do. Played in center by Lapointe. Sends it across. Lapointe has trouble with Bullard. Lapointe goes down. Johnson picks up the puck. Johnson tries to pass. Loose sticks all over the ice. One in the goal, one in the corner. And finally the Blues come out of the puck. Poked away from Babbage by Baxter. Babbage gets back. That pass intercepted by Baxter. Carlisle has the puck. Carlisle falls down. Baxter has the puck. Gardner feeds across and goes for Keogh. Keogh comes in front. The shot saved. Liut rebounds behind the net. Poked into the corner by Patey. Lapointe plays it there. Lapointe hit by Gardner. Down goes Lapointe. Patey has the puck. He's hit by Lonsberry. And the Penguins starting to take the body a little bit. Klassen's pass intercepted by Baxter. He's hip checked by Patey, and Carlisle has the puck. Carlisle off the boards and out to center. Down in the St. Louis zone. Ed Kia is back for it. 16:50 to go, second period. 1-1 the score. Baxter keeps it in. Baxter works his way in and shoots. Save Liut. Nice leg save. Carlisle has the puck. In deep for Keogh. Centers, and it's all the way out of the zone.
Excellent play by Paul Baxter going in and getting a shot away on Liut. Liut standing up, making the save. And the Penguins suddenly starting to throw their weight around.
Ed Kia sends it back for St. Louis. Baxter plays it off the rebound, lifts it clear. It's into the crowd. 16:25 to go, second period. 1-1 the score. We'll be back in a moment. Sam Rosen and Pete Stemkowski, and there's Bernie Fedorko.
Bernie Fedorko on the season, 31 goals, 73 assists for 104 points for the Blues.
He's had 3 consecutive outstanding seasons. Penguins clear out. This is Lee breaking down against Brian Maxwell. Poked away nicely by Maxwell in the corner. Maxwell with a hit on Lee. Loose puck at the goal line, picked up by Sutter. Sutter fires it ahead. Price chases with Fedorko on him. Across the Ron Stackhouse, number 3. The big defenseman sends it out to Peter Lee in center. Lee throws it in the corner. Tony Curry plays it, number 15. Lee comes in for a little check on Curry. Loose puck, Malone throws it side of the net. Picked up by Lee. Lee tried to center. It's blocked by Hart, and out of the zone it comes. Pat Price, number 2, sends it ahead. Malone puts it in St. Louis end, and Hart brings it back out. On the right side comes Curry, tied up by Pat Price, rides him out of the play. Rod Shutt is checked behind the goal line. Centering pass at the side of the net. Hart keeps it in deep. Malone plays it there. Shutt pokes it out to center. Jerry Hart is there. Jerry Hart, veteran defenseman, played with the New York Islanders, 1 season with Quebec. Sent in, offside, St. Louis. 15:21 to go, second period. We remain tied 1-1.
Suddenly the Blues are coming out and doing a little hitting. That's what you got to do in playoff hockey. When you forecheck, you can't go around waving your stick. You have to come in and play the body and have that second man coming in real quick to pick up that puck and either look for your point man or that third man in the slot. We're tied at 1 with 15:21 to go in period 2, and we're at the Igloo here in Pittsburgh, as my partner Sam Rosen calls it. Where did you get the name Igloo for this place?
Now, well, it might look a little like an igloo, but they do have the Igloo Club here.
Okay, that's why you call it the Igloo.
All right.
I've been here once or twice in my lifetime, but the Igloo hasn't really come up.
But it sure looks a little like an igloo from the outside.
There's the young Swede we just saw, Jorgen Pettersson, who scored the winning goal in the first game of this preliminary round for the St. Louis Blues. And shots on goal, the Blues have 14, and the Penguins have 11.
Randy Carlyle for Pittsburgh carries up. Carlyle the center. Hooks it ahead. Coming down is Mike Bullard. Bullard goes in and shoots wide. Into the corner. Babbage bumps there. Loose puck picked up by Kia. Up the boards. Carlyle couldn't keep it in. Pettersson breaks out. Tries to feed Dunlop. Broken up nicely by Paul Baxter. Bullard comes back. Bumped with his own man, Greg Shepard, and fell down. Babbage has the puck. Babbage winds up, fires it into the corner. Millen stops it behind the net for Baxter. And it looked like Dunlop and Bullard got their skates caught at the blue line. They finally got untangled. Blues send it in. Baxter winds it around for Carlyle. Carlyle plays it in the corner. Carlyle gets through the traffic, pokes it up the boards. Dunlop's pass to Pettersson, taken away by Shepard. Shepard for Pittsburgh. Goes in and drives one off a stick, gloved by Liut. Mike Liut sends it up the boards. Dunlop to Babbage. Babbage hit at the line like Gardner went flying. Pettersson feeds it in. Brownscheitel pokes it ahead. Picked up there by Dunlop. Fires across. Kia plays it off the boards. Kia. Pass off a skate and out to center.
Babbage going to the bench very slowly. That's Ligament City when Gardner getting low underneath Babbage and knocking him to the ice. Babbage very slowly goes to the St. Louis Blue bench.
Centering pass from Chapman was broken up. Gardner tangles in the corner with Klassen. It's wound around. Chapman goes Stafford, so does Gardner. Chapman has the puck. Chapman comes, sends it to Klassen. His pass goes in. It deflected off the Penguins. Might have hit Pat Price and deflected in. And it's 2-1 St. Louis.
Ralph Klassen on a give and go with Chapman actually looking to throw the puck out in front of Chapman. We'll see a give and go here. Here's Chapman with the puck. He'll throw it over to Klassen, who's over behind it. And here's Chapman throwing it over to Klassen. Now Klassen wants to give it back to Chapman here. Here he goes to throw it out to Chapman. It hits the Pittsburgh Penguin defenseman and goes in behind the Pittsburgh goaltender Greg Millen. And for Ralph Klassen, his first goal of the National Hockey League playoffs, and gives the St. Louis Blues a 2-1 lead with a little over 13 minutes to go in period 2.
Puck sent in, but the Penguins were offside. 13-17 to go, second period. St. Louis 2, Pittsburgh 1. We'll be back in a moment. Lead in this game. This series tied a game apiece. This is game 3. You're watching it live on ESPN. This is Sutter going in. We'll have game 4 for you tomorrow night, Sunday night at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Rod Shuttle on the board, sends it out of the zone all the way down. This will be an icing on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Maxwell makes the touch. They'll bring it all the way back. 13:01 to go in the period. And the Blues have taken a little of the life out of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Well, Sam, the Penguins seem to go into a little bit of a lull. They let the Blues take over. I mentioned from about the first half, or from the second half of that first period on, and suddenly in about the first 7 or 8 minutes, the Penguins came out and they started to hit and started to bump a little bit. That was a tough break for the Pittsburgh Penguins there, and as Ralph Klassen attempting to throw the puck out in front to Blair Chapman had hit the Pittsburgh Penguin defenseman, but it all counts, and the Blues have a 2-1 lead with 13 minutes to go in period 2.
Nice breakout pass from Price to Lee. Lee goes in, pulls up. Lee shoots, save Liut. Rebound, shot takes a hit from Curry. Hart pokes it away. Checked by Lee, winds it around the boards. Up the near side, Stackhouse keeps it in. Penalty being called. Bob Myers blows the whistle. Jerry Hart getting involved. Maxwell is in there.
Jerry Hart, one of the Pittsburgh Penguin players, and Bob Myers, I believe, is calling 2 minutes each for roughing.
Greg Malone is in there. There's Maxwell. He was involved earlier.
He's their policeman. He's their Nick Fotiu of the St. Louis Blues. He gets in there right away and makes sure that nothing else develops. The score with 12:44 to go in the second period. The St. Louis Blues 2 and the Pittsburgh Penguins 1. He's in the box for the Pittsburgh team. 12:40 to go in period 2.
Lee takes it away. Lee shot. Save Liut. Rebound cleared out and picked up by the Blues. Fedorko a back pass to LaPointe. Team skating 4 aside. Blues leading it 2-1. Rick LaPointe, number 18, comes out. Checked by Lee and almost lost it, but LaPointe gets back. Sends it ahead to the line. Sutter tied up by Carlisle. Sutter sends it back into his own zone to Joe Michelotti, number 12. Michelotti being chased by Peter Lee. Michelotti had trouble with it. Now in control. Starts to come up. Feast to Bernie Fedorko, number 24. Fedorko carries in. Fedorko tries to split the defense, is pulled down. Entering pass comes to LaPointe, who carries in deep. Back pass, shot goes wide. Millen went flying, hit by Fedorko in front. LaPointe keeps it in. Fedorko behind the net. Looks for the wraparound, blocked by Carlisle. Fedorko again comes out the near side. His centering pass stolen by Malone. Sends to Carlisle. Carlisle coming down to the right wing to Lee. Lee blocked by LaPointe. Carlisle has the puck. Back pass, it's out of the zone. Penguins have to regroup. It's fired back in, blocked by LaPointe. LaPointe carries up. LaPointe winds up and drives it. It's off the glove of Millen. It's into the corner, picked up by Ferguson, checked by Pedersen. Now Pat Price for Pittsburgh. Up the middle, and here come the Penguins. Mike Bullard, left wing to Ferguson. Ferguson against Kia. Ferguson goes in. Kia trying to ride him out. Score! On a centering play by George Ferguson. That might have gone in off a St. Louis player.
That goal very similar that the St. Louis Blue goal scored by Ralph Klassen as George Ferguson goes to throw it in front to the rookie Mike Bullard. As we'll look at it again, here you see Ferguson going wide on Eddie Kia. Here he'll stop, make the fake on Kia. Here he'll go to throw it out front. Here we watch him. He'll get his stick on it right here. He throws the puck out in front, and it goes off the rookie Mike Bullard and behind Mike Liut. And 2 goals scored that are very similar. One by Klassen and that one by the rookie Mike Bullard. And we have a score of 2 with 10:50 to go in the second period.
Play made by Ferguson. 2-2 the score. Team still skating 4 aside. Bullard lost the puck. This is Pedersen picking it up. And the teams are back at full strength. Sent across, and out comes Pedersen, number 22. Fires it in, it's blocked. Carams into the corner. Ferguson plays it there. Ferguson avoids a check, comes up the near side. George Ferguson, a good skater with a lot of speed, put the rush on Kia, and his pass went in, deflected off the skate of Bullard. There's a shot by Babbage and a save by Millen. Rebound play by Stackhouse. Checked by Klassen. Babbage has the puck. Sends it into the corner to Dunlop. Back pass to Braunscheidel. He gives it to Kia. Kia the drive. Score! A deflection in front by Wayne Babbage. And the Blues have quickly regained the lead. 3-2.
Eddie Kia getting that puck at the blue line, letting it go, and Wayne Babbage, a 50-plus scorer on the National Hockey League season for the St. Louis Blues, comes drifting in across in front of Greg Millen and deflects it. Here you'll see the shot by Eddie Kia. Lets it go from just inside the blue line. You'll see Babbage just outside of your picture deflecting the puck and going in over a fallen Greg Millen. And Wayne Babbage picks up a St. Louis goal with about 10 minutes to go in this second period. Gives the Blues a 3-2 lead as we look at the bench and Red Berenson, coach of the St. Louis Blues.
9:58 the time of the goal. Blues have a 3-2 lead. Baxter for Pittsburgh sends to Carlisle. Loose puck in center. Baxter carries. He's checked by Patey. Puck picked up by Brown. Shuttle to Jerry Hart. Now Larry Patey. Out to center it comes. Carlisle sends it back in. Mark Johnson coming down. Keogh's in front. Shot. Save. Liut. It's loose at the side of the net. And Liut covers up. She hugs it to the post. 9:40 to go. Second period. St. Louis 3, Pittsburgh 2. We'll be back in a moment.
Second goal that the Pittsburgh Penguins scored. Here you see Ferguson throwing it out in front, right there on your screen. It looks like it hits Bullard in the leg. It looks like it hit Bullard in the leg and went in, but we'll wait for the official. That was the Pittsburgh Penguins' second goal. They have yet to
they have made Ferguson.
An advantage. They have given Ferguson the goal on assists from Bullard and Price, and that made it 2-2, and then Babbage made it 3-2 from the Blues for assists from Eddie Kia and Jack Brownchild at 9:58.
In front, score! Mark Johnson on a feed by Randy Carlisle, and we are tied at 3-3, and the goals are starting to come in a hurry.
Well, what do they say about low-scoring playoff games where defense is so important? This one is blown wide open all of a sudden. As an excellent play by Randy Carlisle, the Pittsburgh Penguin defenseman, puts Mark Johnson, one of the heroes of the United States Olympic team last year. Johnson coming in on Liut on the backhand, digs Liut out, and ties the score at 3 with 9.5 minutes to go in this second period. And for Mark Johnson, his first playoff goal.
10:31, the time of that goal. So the Penguins coming right back, a little over half a minute after the Blues had regained the lead. 3-3 the score. Blues come up. Pedersen. Now Federico losing on a poke check. Blues are offside. 9:10 to go in the second period.
4 goals scored, 2 of them on deflections. Klassen and Ferguson both on deflections. And then Babbage and Mark Johnson has tied it up for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Last 3 goals in about a minute and a half. Penguins come up again. Greg Malone fires off the skate of Lee. Jerry Hart plays the puck. Out to center. Right there by Stackhouse. Fires it back in. Maxwell clears it out all the way down. Icing was waved off. No, this will be an icing on the St. Louis Blues. 8:44 to go in the second period. Crowd has come alive as the Penguins have come up with a couple of goals here, and 3-3 is the score.
Momentum has changed so much in this game so far, Sam. We played a little